Welcome to Cornfed Off-Road. My name is Lincoln, and today we'll be fixing the latch on the passenger. Oh, there it is. Latch on the passenger side of the JL. So last week the wife went to get in here. She pulled up, said it broke. She said she barely touched it, so obviously it was probably cracked prior to her getting in here. But I didn't see a very good video on this, or at least explanation on how to do this. So I'm going to do the best I can. What I did go ahead and do is I took this cover off and I broke it. Broke the back tab right here. I'm assuming it was like a J-hook latched in there. So if anything, I would probably pull up or pull back, pull up. And then the front is like a little tab that you can kind of just shove forward and pull up. I messed up. It's broke. I'm okay with it for right now, but before we get any further into this, here is the part number. There's the part number. There we go. These are the two tools that you will be needing for this project. There are two screws and the top shoulder bolster that you'll have to get those out. And there are two screws somewhere else. I can't remember right offhand. You'll need a pair of needle nose because that wire that runs along here is actually held on by like bull rings onto the metal. And then there's a black plastic piece down here that your cable has to tie into. You'll need that for. Excuse the mess, I have kids and go off-roading. But underneath here are these two straps, and they are in there on a hook. So that's kind of self-explanatory on how to get those off. You take them off the hook. I'm not going to dive in there and get to them. As you can tell, I've still got the project to do, so we're going to kind of do this together. Down here, if I can find them, there are two screws that we have to take off to access and take this molly panel off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to make a disclaimer real quick before we get into all of this. I am doing all this messing up so you don't have to, because there wasn't a very good video on how to get that out or how to get that off. We're going to go over that right now. So in order to get your molly panel off, there's the two screws that we went over down here, and then you kind of got to force it in a downward position just a little bit, just enough to get these out of the top up here. I forced it way down because I thought you had to, and you don't. You just have to force it just beyond where it would grab right in here. And then up here, what you're going to do is you're going to pull your material down enough to expose those screws. There's two of them. And you're going to unscrew the product and not rip it out of the screws like I did. But like I said, we're learning. So now, let me flip my light down here. What we're going to do is in here, you see that tag right there, it clips onto, let me find something to point with here. Okay. What that tab does, come on, get in focus. Where you at? There it is. Okay. That tab is grabbed onto that piece of metal, and then it's zip tied to the piece that is going up there to the top. There's two of those. This one's probably easier to explain with once I find it. Okay. Actually, you can kind of see a little better if I can get my light in there. Have it zip tied to the cable, and then the cable comes down here. I'm really hoping now to screw that up. Those are easy. Just a zip tie. You're going to cut the zip tie and replace the zip ties. So you will have to get those, because I don't think it's good. Actually, it's not zip tied to the, you don't cut the zip ties, you just take the clamp off the metal. Even better. Good thing I looked at that. Anyway, we're gonna get to those. I'm gonna figure out that down there. I'll get back with you. All right, so what you're going to do with these tabs in here, I'm sorry, weird angle. What you're going to do with those is just forcefully pull them off that rail. And then down here, you're going to take that black end right there out of the plastic, the yellow plastic. And then this piece, as you can tell, it has kind of an L channel. If you can look down there, it has like a keyway. You just want to twist it until it gets to where it just falls out, because there is nothing holding it. It's just held in there by the shape. All right, so now if those are out, this should be able to, yep, just like that. And of course, I'm sure those tabs are caught on some stuff. They're caught together. Let me get that out. You don't need to watch this. Pretty much explain. Well, maybe. See if we get into a hiccup up here. Oh, just gotta wiggle it through. All right, and now your junk's out on the ground. Don't mind the stylish moccasins. And then we can grab the new piece. Obviously, if you get those crammed in there, space them out. I'm sure they just slide up and down they do. They just slide them into place, separate them out a little bit so they hold better. All right, I'm going to get this in here real quick. I'd love to share with you on how I did that, but obviously with all the weird angles and stuff, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Sorry for the light. I'm going to get this. I'll get right back with you. All right, so I got it fished in there. In here, there's a bracket here, and then there's a bracket below it. And there's no access hole this way to go down. So you'll have to go this way up against the front cushion here and run it down behind these brackets, and then come out back down here and fish it down that way. Just to display. One of the problems that I had with, I should say I had a problem, it was with this shoulder bolster piece. There's a hook in the front that we went over. You want to make sure that's in, so kind of come in and then down. Well, I kept getting hung up, and I kept getting these screws in that we went over. They're underneath the fabric here. Kind of sucks to get to. They're down in there. But anyway, you want to make sure this fabric is around the plastic first. That way it is down in place where it needs to go. And then you can kind of force it down in there. And then those holes down there for the screws will line up. One thing I didn't go over with you is these little plastic doodads. That's what I'm going to call them, because I don't know the proper terminology for them right now. And this was like a last minute video idea. Because I own the 2-door, my wife has the 4-door, and I'm normally home with the kids before she is, so if we have to go anywhere, it just sucks to not be able to get the kids in the back seat. Yes, I can do it through the driver's side. They're so just accustomed to the passenger side though. So there's three of those, I think. I don't think there's any more. None up front. No, up front. There's just the one right here giving me problems. But I'm assuming you're going to want to put those in. So there it goes, went in. And once again, you'll put your plastic piece over the top of this. Mine is here. It has that broken ear on it because I was a little aggressive with it. I found the ear. So I'm going to go glue that on here before I put this back on. Will it make a difference? I don't know. We'll see. It'll make it appealing. I mean, it'll go back up there. No big deal. It'll flop around. Honestly, I don't even know how this goes on just because the other piece was broke off. There we go. So the front's in, the back kind of just not that big a deal, but it is to me. So I'm gonna get the rest of that buttoned up and this project should be done. So now what I've learned is down there, you're gonna want to get that keyway deal in first. You don't have to put the stud in, the stud hangs out. The stud being the end of the cable. Get that in the keyway and get that black plastic piece back in the yellow. Do not put those on the rail first because you want to leave slack so you can manipulate your cable down here. And then you can go ahead and put those back in. And like that. I'm assuming it works just because my seat is in the down position already. Get that molly panel out of the way. Back seat's out because I had something going on yesterday, so you don't have to remove that. This is a 2-door, so keep that in mind. Flipped with ease. I don't like the slack in that. And that's a Mopar part, by the way, but whatever. It works. Everybody needs to be careful with it so it doesn't break again. Because I was reading some forums and people had Just one finger, boom, she gone. I was reading some forums and people had taken, this is like the third one that they've had replaced at the dealership and stuff. The only reason I wanted to go through the trouble of doing this was because the part was 15 bucks. Dirt cheap. You're looking at probably another $115, $200 just to get it put in. I'm assuming. I don't know. I didn't price it. I just wanted to do it myself because it's a simple thing. I was honestly just hoping to get just this piece right here because that's all that was broke. The rest of the apparatus was fine. Just that was broke. It doesn't work that way. So, is it a pain in the butt? For what it is, yeah. You're looking at probably about a half hour. A few cuss words, maybe a couple beers. If you follow my video anyway. Once again, the reason I even did this video was because I didn't see one that was very self-explanatory. And I haven't edited this yet, so I don't know if this will even be worth a crap to you guys or not. But, hey, we got this in. I kind of showed you the gist of how to do it. I got to put the molly panel in. Everything's backwards now, so I'm assuming what you're going to want to do with the molly panel is, like I said before, probably just get it just below that, just below where it's going to be in at, and you can like beat these clips in. There you go. So now your sides are beat in, and now you just want to make sure everything is where it needs to be and shove straight up on it. And after that, I don't know what all you got with that, but beat these sides in, shove straight up on it, because you'll have this gap right now. Once you shove up, your screws will be exposed. Put your screws in, and then put your elastic loops back where the loop J's are. Feel for them. That's all I can tell you. I don't know where they're at myself because I didn't pluck them off, or I didn't show you. So I think other than that, that's all you need to know. If it helps, you're welcome. If it didn't, I'm sorry for wasting your time, but thanks for watching the video. Anyway, I've been Lincoln. Y'all been great. Have a good one.